Hello and welcome to Chickcast number 5. I thought today's topic, and it is one that I have been asked to do, is just to give a basic overview and how to deal with forgeworld models with their resin. But before anything, I have to do some shout outs. So 2 shout outs today. These are to my patrons. So one goes to Plutonium OD and the other one goes to Timbo. You guys, thank you for your support. All your support goes right back into making this channel better, so better quality for you. And for the people who are watching this, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this and maybe my other videos. And of course, please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm ever evolving and changing how I do things, so hopefully next week I'll have behind me, I'll get rid of these and have a proper backdrop. So today I'm going to talk about forgeworld. Now forgeworld is another arm of the Games Workshop business, and it's more aimed at the more advanced hobbyer or the more advanced modelist. So their products are mainly made out of resin, and resin is very different to the usual plastic kits that you get from Games Workshop. Resin is very different, and the way it's made is very different. Now, first of all, I've got some pictures I can show you guys of what to expect. So when you buy the products, you buy the models, and I should say their models range from big Titans to big aircraft, and then super heavy tanks to little tanks to single models. And it's also, their range is mainly for the Horus Heresy 30k game. So some models you can use in 40k 8th edition, and there's some that doesn't have any rules. I kind of get that, because sometimes they would be, compared to 40k, they would be very overpowered. So when you buy a model, they'll come either in like this. So this is a blister pack, so these are just hang on shelves, or if you're doing mail order, they'll come in a pack like that. It's good because you can look at the model. I'll go through that in a second, why it's sometimes good to look through what you're buying. So it comes in a blister pack like that, which a lot of single models or parts from Games Workshop are like this. And then they will come in a box. So larger models with like more expensive, more parts will come in boxes. So this is like a standard white box that you'll get. This is, I think, for the Thanatos Siege Automator, which I have still to paint. And then they will also come in, I have to see if I can see it because I haven't got my glasses on. It comes in bags. So things like sort of older kits. Now that's a Forgeworld Legion Glaive super heavy tank, which I have, and I'm looking forward to painting that. That comes in a bag, so you'll get lots of small bags in a big bag. It's mainly older models do tend to come in bags. Like I've got one here, I can show you. I got this today. This is a robot. It's come in a bag. That's fine. I like it. Just thought you guys should know, and then you can recognise the difference. Now when you get the models, they will look like this. Usually they will look like that. So they are attached to the so the resin comes in, it's pushed into the mold, and this is what they call the gate, and these are the keys. So when you get these, the first thing you have to do, which you don't do with plastic, is you have to give them a wash. So warm soapy water, and indeed I use these kind of things like a scrubbing brush and a toothbrush, because to get the models out of the mold, they use a release agent that's kind of oily, and you need to wash it off. If you don't wash it off, paint won't stick to the model. Now my very first forgeworld kit, I didn't know that, so I mistakenly put paint on, and it wouldn't hold onto the model. You do get leaflets in models, but larger kits, explaining how to handle and how to deal with forgeworld models. I think there's some info on the website as well, so it's always worth reading that. And then the tools you'll need is some clippers, a file, a hobby knife. Even, as you can see behind me, I have a saw, because sometimes these parts here that you have to cut off can be very thick, which is on, say, large vehicles, Titans. And then it's also recommended to use some kind of mask or filter, as the dust can be an irritant. It does say on the packaging, always wear some kind of face mask when you're drilling or sanding or stuff, because the fine particles can be an irritant. When you get the model, you've already washed it. You then obviously prime it, but there are some it's a brilliant product. They make some outstanding and beautiful models, but it's not a flawless product. So sometimes you'll get bubbles, or sometimes the resin will be really thin to the point of being transparent, or they'll miscast, or you'll have when the mold presses together, sometimes there'll be some slippage, so the mold will slip and you'll get a line like that, or if you can see. So the model kind of has a lip, and it's not meant to do that, but it is sort of like the unfortunate byproduct of the way that they make their models. It's not every kit. I've had some beautiful kits, but sometimes it's there. Normally, if it's not very big, the mold slip, you can file it down or cut it off. Other times, if it's too big, then you will just have to contact their customer service and they'll help you. And I will say, the customer service for ForgeWorld are outstanding. They're as good as Games Workshop. So if there is some problems with your model, they will fix it for you. They give you good advice, or if it can't be fixed, they'll replace it for you. So yep, it's not a product about its problems, but it just, the kits, especially the new kits. I've had some of the newer kits come out. They have got some of the older range, which came out when the Heresy game came out, so they've been out for 10 plus years, maybe more. I think more than that. I've been lucky enough to have some of the new kits, and the detail is just breathtakingly good. It's fantastic. Now, you've done all the filing, you've clipped it all off, you've got the model. Sometimes, especially large models, the resin is solid, so that's a solid lump of resin. It's quite small, but I've got stuff which are really heavy, large pieces. They will require pinning, which is essentially you're drilling a hole into a part of the model, and then another part that you want to join. Say it's a hip joint, a leg going into a hip joint. Because it's so large and so much weight will bear in it, it's a good idea to get a metal rod, drill the two pieces, and then glue the rod in, and it will help bring stability to a model. A good example would be last year I was lucky enough to buy and paint a Reaver Titan. This is a very large and heavy model. I think that it was around about 7 kilos or more, so there was a lot of weight bearing down on it, so I had to pin it. If not, there's a risk that it would fall over and break, and all that hard work would be wasted. Models do come with instructions, but there are some kind of instructions issues. They're not insane and difficult, but they have some older instructions. Let's see, I need to find the instructions. So they have these kind of instructions. This is for a Sicker and the Venator. So this is one of my models. It's old, and you only get a couple of A4 bits of paper. You get a checklist, and then a few details on where to put stuff, and essentially the rest of it is work it out yourself. So they do need updating, but fortunately some of the new models they have updated, and this is another Sicaran battle tank, and they have full colour brochure style instructions, and they explain where everything goes. They're much better, but sometimes the instructions can be a bit tricky. There are communities online, Facebook, Twitter, that will help people if you do get stuck. There's some fantastic advice, and there's some YouTube videos as well. There's a few people I watch who build ForgeWorld models, and I've learned so much from watching their videos and their good advice, because sometimes I've done something that's been really difficult, and I've watched a video and they've said, no, if you do it like this, simple, and I've done that, I've done it on another vehicle of the same type, and I followed the advice and just went together so easy. The example is there's a large tank called a fell blade, and the first one I had, I spent about 2 hours putting all the tracks on it. It's a tracked tank. I got another one last year, and I watched a guy's YouTube video, and I fitted all the tracks together in about 20 minutes, and it was super simple. So yes, they do have some problems with older kits and the instructions, but there are help knocking about online for you guys to find out. It's a case of just asking. Like I say, they have some fantastic kits. Older kits do kind of show their age a little bit, but I know they are bringing out new things all the time. I love the Knights. I love the Titans. I mean, their Titans are massive and beautiful, like the Warlord Titan, but they are expensive. I think the Warlord Titan is about £1,200 to £1,300 UK pounds. So their models can get pricey. The Thanatos, I got quite a large robot that was like £77, and they've had a price hike recently. So it is it is a niche within a niche hobby. It's worth it because the kits are great and you can play with them, and they have some really fun rules. But it's just I think the price is sometimes an issue for people. If you're lucky enough that you can afford it, then by all means you should really go for it. So hopefully, I think one more thing, they do have part resin, part plastic kits. So some of their vehicles, like some of their tanks, will use the plastic parts from a Rhino. So a Rhino and a Predator tank, they do like a resin Predator tank with, it's got some funky weapons on it, but the sort of the basis, the chassis of the vehicle will be the plastic. So you do get part resin, part plastic kits. They're quite easy to work with. Again, instructions says it all. And I think that is everything I can cover basic, in a basic video. I do plan on doing some, I will physically show working with resin, so prepping and painting. By all means, please give me some suggestions in the comments below, or send me a message of what you would like me to do, what you'd like to see or hear. I am happy to talk about pretty much anything Warhammer related. I am more than just a Warhammer girl, but it is my biggest passion. So I will cover any aspect of 40k, 30k, the other games like Adeptus Titanicus and Kill Team. So please, some suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions, and some good constructive criticism absolutely goes a long way. In the link in the description below, there'll be links to my Instagram account and my Twitter. I'm very active on both of those, and Twitter is a good platform to contact me on. I also do have Patreon, so if you do feel like that you would like to support this channel, feel free to become a Patreon. There are some rewards for doing that. You'll get some exclusive content. I know my channel hasn't got much content on it at the moment, but that is changing, and I'm slowly building that up. But if you would be ever so gracious to do that, that'd be awesome. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and that you will look forward to seeing the next one. So hopefully today, this should be going out on a Saturday or a Sunday. I should have another video or two during the week. But in the meantime, have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.